My favorite part of feeding 5,000 last year was pretty much the enjoyment of the people, of knocking on their door and just being able to just watch their faces and just watch their smiles just come over them, because you could really tell that they were in need and that they were really thankful.
I really didn't know at first what to expect. Whenever I first heard about it, when we showed up and the trucks were being delivered, we was hauling food into the gymnasium and setting it up. It was kind of neat. And, as we went through the process of filling the bags, it was pretty cool. And I still didn't know what was really going on. You know, we were just kind of winging it, just wanting to help out. And then come day to deliver, we didn't know that we were going to be on team. We thought that, you know, 2 people were just going to go out and have some bags, but then they teamed us up. It's pretty exciting. You could just feel the energy in the room and the people were excited. And that was the blast. And knowing we were doing God's work was the most important thing. So it was all exciting, but the part where you got to meet people, and especially the part where you handed somebody something that you could tell they really needed, that's when you really felt like the most that you were doing God's work. When you could see their face light up, and you really felt like God was using you to help these people. It kind of took it from an event to fulfillment, I would say.
We got involved in the Feeding 5,000 in order to serve God. During this event of the Feeding 5,000, we also discovered that we had a miracle in our own life, or not only in my life or my family's life, but it also reunited me and my family that was in need.
Our goal was to serve God in feeding 5,000, and we didn't know that God was going to put us in a place to help her family, Jamie's family. And it was a time that they really needed help. And God was just there. I mean, He used us to help them, and it's a real blessing for them. It brought Jamie's family together, because now they're members of the church, and they're in God's Word, and they weren't in God's Word at the time. So God really done some miracles in that.
There was several doors at the time that led up to me coming to finding my Aunt Candy and Uncle Tom. That I was kind of sad that I wasn't having any luck being able to give out these bags of food, because I really wanted to do that. And so I kept knocking on each door, and nobody answered, and until finally Jordan and I are just walking up to this house, and this lady just out of nowhere just steps to where I could see her, and she looked up at me, and sure enough, it was my Aunt Candy. And at that time I knew she had moved, but I just never knew where. And I also heard that her and my uncle was just really having a hard time, and they were just really struggling. And then when my son and I noticed my Aunt Candy, I mean, she just instantly just started bawling. And I was just like overwhelmed, because she was there. She was part of that. And I was more shocked than anything, because I didn't realize that she was in such a hard time. My aunt, my uncle, Tom and Candy dear, now are so thankful and grateful, and they are members of this church now because of that feeding of the 5,000. And I thank God every day for allowing me to be a part of that.
it was pretty exciting to see that God had put us at their doorstep at the same time that they needed us. She went on to tell us that she'd been praying for days for God to help because they didn't know their next step. It is just a God thing. It's something that just don't happen by coincidence. You can tell God's hand is in it.
Since then, they have been in Bible studies. They have been reading God's Word. They have felt the need to want to help others when they had the opportunity. You could just really see them change day by day, being able to know who our God is, and that is really, really exciting and enjoyable for me and Jason and my two boys to watch them grow in God's Word and God's love.
That's the good part of the story. The impact that God's made on Tom and Candy's life. They were at a time that they really needed to see God. They needed to see God working in their lives. And I think it's interesting how God breaks us sometimes to make us grow. And that's what He done. He broke them. And He took a lot of things that were dear to them away from them. And then He built them back up. And that was sweet. That's the good stuff. That is, I tell you, just from the times that we've been out and sat with Tom and Candy and shared God's Word. We help answer questions or whatever. And just their need for God's Word was remarkable. Not to mention that they went from no fellowship to having fellowship with other believers, and their life has changed. I mean, it's not going to be the same anymore. It's now they know they can trust the Lord. That's a big impact in somebody's life. That was probably the first big thing that Jamie and I had seen God's hand in. I mean, we'd seen our lives change, but as far as being involved in a group, that was probably the first big thing that we actually see God's hand in that really left an impact on our lives.
I really, really wish and hope for everybody that has the chance to be able to be a part of this Feeding 5,000, that they will really consider it, because it is such a great opportunity to be able to serve our God and to be able to witness and to be able to just show that love that you really desire and want to be a part of. And it does bring a miracle. It might not be to a family member, but the thing about it is it's totally a blessing. Totally.
We were fortunate enough that we were put in a place to help a family member. But that doesn't mean everybody is going to, you know. But the people that aren't family members, there's people that need the same help that our family did. And just having the chance to do that is a blessing. And you should be thankful that you're even allowed to be used in that way, to bless somebody's life. I know I'm thankful. Just the folks that I did get to meet, and even if they weren't the people that needed it the most, God's love was showed that day to them. So even if they didn't need the food, we all need God's love. And, by just handing that bag of food, we handed God's love. So if you've sat in the pew and just wondered, what can I do to serve the Lord and make an impact? This is your chance.